Now,
Awesome.
hold it, wait, recording. Yep, and could everybody please turn off their mic? So that means myself included, right?
Everybody be really cool. Laura Zinser's here. Be really cool.
So John, it's all in your court. Everybody's got their mics turned off. I'm
Okay.
showing I'm showing recording in the top right-hand corner. It says recording, so it should be recording, right?
Okay. Hey, Scott, I'm a co-host, so I'm going to go ahead and share my own slides. And then you guys, I'll give control over to you when we get to the next person. How's that sound?
Go for it.
And can any
Right
of you
on.
verify that it's showing recording on your end?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Good,
says recording.
good, great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to mute and hand it over to you, John.
Okay, dokie. Welcome, everybody. Oh my gosh. I was in a classroom today and my alarm went off and it was like, you've got to be home in 14 minutes. So I just walked in right now. So sorry about the unsmooth Zoom login, but we're here today because of a happenstance on the internet, which was one of my favorite things that ever happens. Peter popped in and said, who'd like to know about Class Companion? And I was like, I would. And now they've got me presenting on it. So it's a big old party. Justin, raise your hand there, Justin. If you guys don't know Justin Unruh and Dr. Petrie, they're going to be showing a little bit about Class Companion. But for those of us that are like, what's a protocol? Here's our little agenda. I'm going to do a little bit on protocols, a little bit on Class Companion, like what the capacities are. And then we will then have a third segment, which is kind of think of it as like a panel. So like we'll all be sharing, talking, and asking questions about like, okay, I saw this and I saw that. And I love for the baby boomers and older, there used to be a commercial where a guy gets his chocolate in another guy's peanut butter. And then the other guy's mad that he got his peanut butter in his chocolate, and that apparently is the birth of Reese's Pieces. Sorry, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So we're going to try to get our chocolate of protocols on the peanut butter of Class Companion. And then I think Avery is going to be jumping in for a little bit too as a Class Companion expert. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to zip through some of the basic parameters that make an EduProtocol an EduProtocol. And one of our first things is teach better and work less. We want teachers to be able to do their grading at school on contract hours. We also want kids to get their feedback in real time because imagine being on a sports team where your coach emails you your performance for the week. You're not going to have a great game on Friday night if that's your football team. So teaching better is immediate feedback. It's working less, working during your contract hours. And then also a big piece of it is you guys, I'm just going to be really honest right now. Sometimes we expect too little. And Justin, for example, you can back me up on this. You're in the classroom right now. You guys, we're getting 20, 25 points of growth a day. We're seeing 40 points of growth on end of the year tests. We're talking about actual growth. So that's just a little bit about protocols. And then I love this little quote right here. The only instructional strategy with a negative effect size, lecturing. That's straight from Hattie. Lecturing is a negative 0.26, a half year's learning loss because it's passive. And then some people will say, John, but don't we need to do some direct instruction? Of course, of course. But I like to use the analogy, Justin, let me know what you think about this. I like to use the analogy of kryptonite. There is kryptonite present on the earth, but it only hurts Superman when he's close to it. So
Yeah.
it's not that direct instruction or lecturing is bad. It's that the more you're using it, the more that educational kryptonite is coming out for the kids. How do you like that, Justin?
No, absolutely. It's absolutely right.
So again, it's not to do it. It's that we've got to constantly seek ways to be efficient so that we're not just mansplaining. And then I saw this on TikTok the other day. The female version of mansplaining is called she-laboration. And so trying to stay out of that zone with equity. So basically an EduProtocol, think of it as a frame. I like to talk about Venn diagrams, you guys. What grade level can I use a Venn diagram in? Any grade level. What subject? Any subject, right? It's a pedagogy that you can use on all kinds of content. And there's no one right answer. And there's high level thinking. And so with EduProtocols, we can use the same exact protocol or frame in a math class, in a chemistry class, in a music class, in a history class. And Dr. Petrie and Adam Moeller, I don't think Moeller made the show today, but in their history book edition of the protocols, they took all of the protocols that we developed originally from ELA and repurposed them right over to history. And here's a great example. What's a great way to summarize a great historical figure? It turns out that the hero's journey, which is big time Joseph Campbell, is a great way to summarize the story of Rosa Parks. There's a call to action. There's the abyss, there's the elixir, there's returning to the ordinary world. So that's just a kind of a basic idea of a protocol. And then I love this slide by Drew Skeeler down in Texas. They're not one-off activities, you guys. I might do a protocol every Wednesday all year long. That means kids get 35 shots at an Iron Chef this year. Not 3, not 5, not 7, 35. Other activities might happen. Again, Justin's really spectacular at this. Justin will do between 5 and 6 different activities in one class period. But the activities carry over from day to day. So this week it's an Iron Chef about the Bay of Pigs. The next week it's an Iron Chef about the missiles of October. The next week it's an Iron Chef about the beginning era of Vietnam. So the work product, the kids know what the work product is. All Justin is changing on it is what the content that's coming in. And if you do teach 5 preps, because my suspicion we got a lot of middle and high school people here, you can use the same protocols for every prep. So Justin teaches AP and regular, not a problem, same protocols. All he's going to do is he's going to switch the content, the depth of the reading. Justin, agree, maybe more citation or maybe text evidence, or maybe the AP kids find their own stuff and then justify their thinking for finding their stuff. But the planning part and the grading part is almost identical. Another key feature on protocols, we like to smart start it. So we start off with a really fun thing about a protocol. We might do a protocol, and I think, Justin, you came up with this one. Maybe that was you, or it was Dominic Helmstetter. Our first protocol might be just describing your least favorite cafeteria food. And then the next day it might be your favorite musical artist. And then just like that, by the 3rd or 4th rep, kids are using that same protocol to do really high level thinking. So we ease the kids in because that's good for brain power. Another way I like to explain protocols is with this little chart. When I was in high school in the 1970s, late 70s, I used to get this model. Teachers would lecture at me. At the end of the lecture, I would get either answer the questions at the end of the chapter or reflect, which is poison to a 12-year-old boy. I don't know when you say reflect, I have no idea what you want from me. And then hand it in, and I'll get feedback later. In a protocols classroom, we shift that just a little bit to look like this. We're going to use technology to find out what kids think right now. And again, Justin will talk about this in a little bit, but we'll ask them a question. Right now, what do you know? We give them feedback and direct instruction and say, well, you have some misconceptions here. What about this? What about that? And then we do the work again. And if you look at the right column and the left column, really all we've done is rearrange some things. Because of technology, and I think Class Companion will speak to this, Avery, you have the ability to have kids write what they know about the Civil War, for example. And then you have the ability to clarify those misconceptions in real time. And it's a double gift right now because now you're engaging the kids in the conversation, but you're also giving yourself a gift, which is tonight, you don't have to read 150 papers and you don't have to grade 150 papers. So that's part of the vibe. I got about 4 slides to go, you guys, on kind of the brain science of this. This is called the forgetting curve. It was originally developed by a guy named Hermann Ebbinghaus in the 1800s, and he noticed that if you did something one time, after one repetition, your retention sneaks down in here into the 10% range, and that's because you've only seen it once. So when you say to kids, hey, we worked on this first quarter and we're going to do the big cumulative quiz, and they look at you like you're a crazy person, they only did it once. When you do that same activity 4 times, your retention is now up into the 70 to 80% range. And again, this is where the technology comes in, because I'll tell you guys, there's no way I'm going to quadruple the amount of worksheets that I'm handing out or quadruple the number of end of chapter questions I'm going to answer. But if I put that in GimKit or BlueKit or Padlet, and I have the kids answer the question immediately, and I have the kids get feedback immediately, it becomes a memorable event for them. And I really like this one. It's called the ipsative instinct. And this is also a fairly well-known concept. But basically, when kids do something and they get immediate feedback, their first instinct is, I can do that better. And that applies in bowling and golf and tennis and Candy Crush. And so when we collect the papers at the end of the period, kids disassociate from the work. And so one of our big concepts and protocols is immediate feedback, immediate feedback, immediate feedback. So quick review. EduProtocols are research-based. They align with Hattie, they align with Marzano. Like I mentioned, the Iron Chef lesson, that's a jigsaw. On Hattie's list of 256 things, a jigsaw is a 1.2. That is nearly the highest effect size you can have for academic work. There's reciprocal teaching, there's technology, there's advanced graphs, there's presentation, all of that built all in. Also for clarity, EduProtocols are a pedagogical approach. They're not a curriculum. And if your administrators are talking to you about SEL and UDL, protocols shine there because you allow kids voice and choice, you allow them to create, you allow them to interact. And guess what? Whether you're a special ed student or a resource student or an AP top of the line academic student, everybody can make slides. Everybody can tell me what they thought about the article. So it's not just keeping kids in the box of memorizing multiple choice quizzes and all those kinds of things. And then I'm going to go on a tiny little sprint right here. This is a teacher working in Southern California. This is her iReady in the fall. 16% passing. Look how much red. 59% 2 grade levels and below. Same teacher 4 months later. 47% passing. That's quadruple. And she's cut the red group in half without taking tons of things home and doing things like this. And listen to her quote, "I've never felt so confident in my teaching and being an effective facilitator." Here's a great one. I don't know if you guys will see, every year Jimmy Kimmel does a thing where he does the parents ate your Halloween candy. So the teacher played the video for the kids and they wrote in 3 points of view. They wrote in the kids who threw the computer on the floor, kids' point of view. They wrote in the acceptance kid, God's point of view, and they wrote the no reaction kids from parent point of view. You guys, these kids were cranking out 3 paragraphs in as quick as 15 minutes. And that's pretty awesome for 7th and 8th graders. Here's another example, Sketch and Tello. I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit. Here's how kids are taking notes about the American form of government and important elements. Notice how they're creating their own drawings and meaning, and they're putting those little notes down below. Lots of great stuff going on. Last slide here, I think, or second to last. If this sounds interesting, you can find out more about it. We have a Facebook group that's free with over 20,000 educators in there, just sharing like crazy. And I think that's my part. And then if anybody's got hot burning questions, I'll pick those up in the chat. Ooh, I'm going through we already had hot burning questions. Okay.
Job. So Avery, do you want to take these slides? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Great. Sorry, I didn't realize we're passing it off here. So here we go. Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. John, Justin, and Scott, thanks for having me. My name is Avery. I'm one of the co-founders of Class Companion. And the question is like, why do I do what I do? Well, I was actually behind on reading and writing through 3rd grade. And I had my teacher, Miss Granzato, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, stay after school to tutor me one-on-one twice a week. So there have been personal experiences where I felt the difference that one-on-one instruction makes. And John, what you said about the repetition and the immediate feedback, we really are inspired by the same school of thought and the research that has proven what works. The problem is that there's not enough teacher to go around so much of the time. And so our tool has been meant to multiply your capacity to do that. So Class Companion provides instant AI-powered feedback, grading, and tutoring that the teacher controls. And taken together, these elements allow teachers to multiply your capacity to give one-on-one instruction to every student. And it's free for teachers. So I'm really excited to hear from other educators here, Scott and Justin, how you guys use it. But a little bit of, like the philosophy again, is when you get that instant feedback, what John was saying, plus that tutoring and the guidance, it means that students can try again on the spot. And that's key because they haven't walked away yet. It's on their mind and they're super motivated. I really want to fix it. And suddenly they stop fearing their mistakes. It's like, it's more of a playground. It's like, hey, I can try something, right?
And Avery, I describe that as locking in. You can literally see them lean forward and say, I'm going to do it again, which is, that fills every teacher bucket.
Yes, and it's amazing. It's like they're really in it. They're really driven. And kind of, what you're saying, John, is like, they're going to improve. Like it's as simple as that. And then when they improve, the biggest thing is they build confidence and they're engaged. They're there with you. So the 3 steps of using Class Companion is that you add your own assignments. Yes, you can generate with AI. You can import your own. It's flexible to your workflow. And you invite your students so that your students can complete the EduProtocol on that platform. And you and the student can view submissions and insights in real time. So the teachers who use this actually say, hey, I build a stronger relationship with my student in some ways, because suddenly you guys are sitting on the same side of the table, addressing the feedback together. And so other stuff that you can see here essentially is, yes, we've built in flexibility for grades K-12, a range of subjects, and then we provide value adds such as the insights, the response integrity, and then accommodations for individual students. And then I'll just end with, we've served over 1 million students. We're super focused on getting feedback from teachers. In fact, Scott and Peter are on our advisory board. They give us feedback all the time. Collectively, students have spent over 40 years on our platform, and the students actually say it's improving their learning. And I won't go through these teacher quotes, but really what we want to make sure we're doing is we're amplifying proficiency, we're bridging the achievement gap, and we're generating results. So Ellen's saying, hey, most of my students get free lunch and have English as a second language. 75% pass the AP exam. I usually get 33%. So with that, I would love to pass it over. I'm going to exit this and pass it over to Scott or Justin to share your stories.
Okay, I think I'm next, and I think we're going to have Justin be the big finish. So let me share my screen. And I don't think I have any audio, but I'm going to optimize it just in case. All right, so EduProtocols, flexible lesson frames. I'm really, I wanted the structure on this session to be about EduProtocols in writing.
Scott, can I interrupt for just a second? Can you make that full screen so we can see it?
Boom, yeah. So this is a list of EduProtocols that I think are good for writing: the 3 times point of view, the 3x CER, 8 parts, Cyber Sandwich. John talked about Iron Chef earlier. But really what I'm going to do after I talk about this, how getting students to write about what they're reading gives a huge jump in reading comprehension. That's why they want social studies and history teachers to become writing teachers. When students are asked to write about what they're reading, their comprehension goes up almost 25 percentile points. And that's huge. So the first EduProtocol I'm going to take you through is what we call the Nacho paragraph. And if you look at our book, it says student-centered lesson frames for AP and college prep. And I was one of those snooty AP teachers. at a gifted and high achieving magnet. And I thought that Nacho paragraph was too pedestrian for my kids. I was teaching research, and all those
Scott's
kids were
very picky up in his life, you guys. You got to
in
know that.
Harvard. Um, and what I learned is as you're increasing the reps with your kids, you can also increase the rigor. And so for this strategy, you are going to, you guys do see this paragraph revision strategy, right?
Yep. Yep. We got you.
Okay, so you select 2 paragraphs from a writing sample that your kids have done, and you use one as a mentor text. And you give a think aloud of, "Hey, this is good, and here's why it's good." And then you use a second paragraph that the entire class is going to revise separately. So I've used Pear Deck, I've used Nearpod, I've used Socrative. You can use a discussion board. You can even do this on paper. And I give the kids specific goals, things I want them to correct, and strict time limits. And you start off slow and you build up. And what you're going to see is your kids' growth over time and how maybe they couldn't even use citations first, but now they can recognize incorrect citations and correct them within 10 minutes. And I have kind of stopped doing the voting on it because I think that's public shaming. So I just want to show you an example that's hopefully something real easy we can do. And if you open another tab and you go to bit.ly Nacho demo, which is case sensitive, you should go to a screen that gives you this exact same paragraph. Now, Avery, correct me if I'm wrong. They're going to use their non-teaching email to log into Class Companion. And then do they have to join the EduProtocols demo class?
Everyone here will automatically join Scott's class.
Yeah, it's going straight in, Scott.
Okay.
And I put the link in the chat, you guys, if you just want to click and not worry about upper and lowercase.
So, and this is where John will play some music, and hopefully people can do this paragraph. And what I'm asking you to do is just change this paragraph from the academic third person neutral. Like this could be like a paragraph a kid totally cut and paste from Wikipedia, which is always third person academic neutral. What I would ask my kids to do, because I want them to learn about Mata Hari, is they're going to convert this to the first person narrative style. So they're going to say, I am Mata Hari, I had a good childhood, my father went bankrupt, and blah, 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 blah. They're just going to rewrite this paragraph so they get the hang of what person you want them to write in, because I know kids sometimes lose track and they'll shift between in their essays, especially young writers, emerging writers, they'll switch between first and third person. So if you're having trouble, put that in the chat.
And Scott, I think we need a code. You give us a code, a join code.
All
I
right.
got the bit.ly. The bit.ly worked.
Hold on, because Avery is going to show me how to get that join code again. We rehearsed this
All right.
morning.
Everyone hold.
Let me
Hold.
go here and share this. So this is the screen. Avery.
Oh, there's the code.
Yep, I chatted the code to everybody.
Got it.
Yeah, let me know if you're able to make it in there.
And so this is what it looks like as an assignment for me. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. John, do you want to play some theme music with a timer?
Well, I can't while you're presenting,
No.
but that's okay.
Okay.
We can self-soothe in other ways.
I'll just set my timer because I lose track of time. And I'm hoping you only get 2 chances to submit this, but Class Companion is looking at a very simple rubric for rewriting a paragraph where you keep the original main ideas, you keep the original key details, and a good grammar and mechanics. It's going to give you, out of a scale of 3 points, you have 2 tries to get those 3 points.
And remember, you guys don't have to retype the whole thing. You can just revise the whole thing.
Oh, no, I was worried about this. It was going to be problematic for people to get in, but
No, we're good. We just needed the code.
Yeah, so I think the bit.ly plus the code should work. And I also chatted this link that just combines it. So if you see that in the chat, that should bring you directly to the class as well.
Scott, oh, never mind.
and so will I be seeing these new submissions come in as they do? Yeah, John is in progress, Justin is in there, Hermione and Ron have already done theirs.
Now, one of the things, Scott, while people are working, I'll just give them some low cognitive feedback here is the beauty of this is I don't have 30 or theoretically 150 kids revising their own work. And by doing that, I'm able to very narrowly see if they understand the academic task. That's the Nacho part, as in not your paragraph. And what I've noticed as a language arts first teacher, that when I have kids identify something to revise in the work, and then everybody's revising from the same block of text, I can very rapidly see their skill level. The other thing that's great though is I don't have to, go back and forth and back and forth. It's just a one-shot deal. How much did they get? If there were areas they were struggling on, then I'm going to focus on those most common areas. And the other thing that's great, Scott, is I don't have to stop everything else to do a unit on revision and editing. I just do this 2 or 3 times a week all year. And just like that, my kids are going to do 200 revisions a year that do not result in me taking home wheelie carts full of work.
Mhm. It doesn't result in punishment for them because you're really just coaching them up. This is like a low stakes assignment
Right.
where you're just saying, okay, this is what we
And then
want to see for next time.
And then I love this part, you guys. Kids have a bad habit that is before AI of they don't actually read the article that you send them. Well, when we do this activity, you have to read it to be able to fix it. So we're getting a close read out of it as well.
So you
And
got
I'm
about
almost done.
2 minutes left, and then we'll hit submit and get our feedback.
I'm in.
Okay.
Attempt 1, analyzing. Oh, that's cute. I like it. That is cute.
If it's saying you're not a student, it's because you've already used your email to create a teacher account. So you might already have
Okay.
a companion account.
No, it's working great. It's
Um,
working super.
She's responding to people in the chat that are
Oh,
saying they're not a student.
oh yeah, sorry, John, you're rocking and
that's
rolling.
okay.
So yeah, so Mike and Debbie, choose a different email, like maybe a personal email, or yeah, that should make it work because I'm guessing your existing email is tied to a teacher account.
And Scott, I'm going to share my screen so that people in the recording can see what it might look like for kids. Does that make sense? So if somebody's watching the recording or anybody that couldn't log in. So here, right here, I get, this is the original source that Dr. Petrie dropped me. Okay. And then his request was convert it into first person, make the reader believe that you're Mata Hari. You guys, let's be honest. How many of us have done a 2-week lesson that sounds like this? You were at the Boston Tea Party, write a first person version. Bro, 2 weeks. And then I got to correct them all. We're getting the same thing done right here in a little under 10 minutes. And then look at the scores over. Oh, Scott, I only got a 2 out of 4. Come on.
I know.
You
You
need to
better
turn the
try
grading up.
again, Carippo. Yep.
Try again. So great job following the directions. You successfully made the reader believe you're Mata Hari by using I and my. Keep the original main idea. So Scott, I did a little thing here. I threw a couple of things in, like I needed to make some extra cash. So I became an exotic dancer. So I messed with it a little bit. And guess what? The AI did. It picked right up on my shenanigans. Okay. keeps the key original details. Uh-oh. I I changed older man to creepy older man, and it dinged me for that. And then grammar and mechanics. Oh, still grammar. I put executed T. It spotted my typo,
Yep.
and so I didn't change. You guys, what's Scott's grading time now? It's nothing. And guess what? I have one more attempt right here where I can go ahead and fix those things. So let me fix executed T. That's an easy one. And then she gained. I'm going to switch it to I gained. Where is that one? She gained. None. I'm going to put none other than I. And I'm going to just mess with it a little bit. And I go submit. And now that's my second attempt. And I'm going to get real-time feedback, you guys. Like, this is mind-blowing. And
So
what I
in-
was
I
giggling about
believe,
earlier
Avery,
was,
correct me if I'm wrong, but you can allow the students to try this up to 8 times and get feedback on each revision. So this does really gamify the writing process, and you'll get kids that keep trying to improve and improve and improve.
Yes, you can give up to 8. So you can control how many attempts you want the student to get. There's also that little AI tutor in the corner. You can turn Ditto, the tutor, on or off. So we've heard a lot of teachers say, I have students who don't know where to get started. They want the question to be rephrased. Maybe they want help understanding what the feedback is telling me to do. And that's where you can also pop up Ditto. But yes, thank you so much for demoing it, John. But yeah, that's kind of the experience there. Yeah. And we also tried to, we came up with some socialize appropriate weighting messages that you were highlighting just now.
and then an EduProtocols piece to this that you mentioned, Avery, is like kids are disoriented at first, right? Like, what's the game? And that's why we'll always start with something like Colonel Sanders. You guys, if you want to blow some minds in history, have your kids do a research project on Colonel Sanders. Bro had a very checkered past. He was in a shootout. He was a lawyer. He got thrown out of he got thrown out of the bar for fighting in the courtroom. So you can do some things that are high interest, high energy, but not high academic load to get kids used to the format. And I'm going to give you back the share now, Scott. But you guys, this is the first time I've used Class Companion, and I'm freaking loving this. This is amazing.
For what?
And what I wanted to go back to
To get into what?
is in here where
No, don't try it. Use your iPad.
but you can go to this EduProtocols demo class and look at all of the assignments, and you've created some fast and curious samples, the Nacho paragraph, the 3xCER, Parafly, and again, 3POV, the Hamilton and Burr example I've done. So I believe these are clonable and copyable for everybody in Class Companion. And all you have to do is find this EduProtocols demo class, and you can start copying them to your account. I can now look through the submissions here and see all the other people who did that. Look, it busted John Carippo for cutting and pasting. This is the highlight of my year. John, writing is not cutting and pasting, my friend. You have to use your original ideas. And
I'm in Petrie's typing class now.
So I think that is all I wanted to show you. I do love the Nacho paragraph because it's a simple strategy you can use a simple tool, like a simple activity like this. And then I've cut and pasted lit review sections in here, and I've had AP research students have to go through and correct all the citations that I have purposely left out, and they hate that because that means they have to read 2 or 3 primary sourced articles and find the correct quotes that are included in that lit review expert. And oh my God, do they groan about that. So the nice thing about EduProtocols is the more reps the kids have, the more familiar they are with it. And then you can just add rigor, even if you're teaching AP, even if you're teaching dual enrollment, whatever you're doing. So thank you for indulging me. I'll now turn it over to Justin, who has the big finish and a lot of great classroom samples to share.
Okay. All right, so let me get the share out here. Let's see, got that, share. All right, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
No, I'm just messing with you, bro.
I know. All right, guys. So they've been harping on the reps and the instant feedback, and those are the two of the key tenets of EduProtocols. We want reps and we want instant feedback, and Class Companion provides that. So what I've noticed a lot with the kids is that I will get it's a video game mentality, right? So when they play a video game, they are if they play it, they're getting instant feedback from it, whether they succeeded or they lost. And with that feedback, they're going to attempt it again. And they're going to attempt it again and again and again. I mean, I have seen people play the same level 15 times in a row for hours and hours upon a time because they want to get that perfect score. So that's what Class Companion allows them. And like Scott was saying, it allows up to 8 attempts. So I have kids that will literally do 8 attempts who hate writing. They hate writing. They groan, like Scott was just saying, over and over again about writing. But they will do this 8 times to get that perfect score because they're getting that instant feedback, and it's not scary because they can fix it right away. I also like it because it's not giving them the exact right answer. It's making them think about it and find that answer. They're searching. So here I just got my learning attention success criteria and why are we learning this? But I use this a lot for writing, obviously, because that's what we're going to be doing in Class Companion. So in order to get to that writing, for example, this is like one of the Iron Chefs that we were talking about. It's a jigsaw method. And I have them do it and they annotate and they're going to get me information based on each document. Okay. And we're accumulating data in order to use for the Class Companion that's going to come up. So I gave you a couple examples here of what my kids did. And then we're going to move on to a 3-time CER. And we're going to describe 3 reasons why the Chinese were excluded. Here's an example of what my kids did. I had them copy and paste it to this after the Class Companion because I wanted them to have it just there for them, especially as we go into writing our SAQs and DBQs and APUSH. But here is what it looks like. I'll put it in slideshow so you can see it better. As long as it takes.
That's the Modesto internet right there.
It really is. It's terrible. All right. So right here, what you see is that she she did the first attempt. She did 3 attempts. The first time she got a 2 out of 6, right? And so what you're seeing is that it gave her some feedback for like the claim. It says addresses the question by suggesting that the Chinese were excluded because they took jobs from American citizens, lead to a financial depression. However, and here's the feedback, it is somewhat vague and could be more specific. And then it gives them an idea of what they could put. And what I like is that each part of this feedback is color coded, right? So the claims in blue and the evidence is in yellow that they're being given feedback on. And she is going to try to attempt it again. And so she's going to attempt it one more time. I'm not going to show the second attempt, but I will show the third attempt. And what you'll see is that she got a lot better. She got a lot better instantly. This is just real fast. I'm not having to be over her shoulder. I mean, I'm coaching her wherever she needs it, but
Yeah.
she is receiving feedback instantly right here. And she did reps. She did 3 reps of this right here. And she was able to do this pretty darn quick because she got the instant feedback. So the amount of growth that I'm seeing with my students is so impactful because they get to keep trying and get better. Whereas before,
And Justin,
yeah,
like I said, I haven't used Class Companion with
Sure.
human children yet, but I get the sense that after they do one of these, they go, bro, is that it? That's all I got to do? Do you get that kind of response a lot?
yeah. I mean, because with the instant feedback, they're able to get it done and then move on, right? So yes, I do get that they're succeeding quicker. And that's one of the key things I wanted to talk about is that I'm seeing so much growth because before I had to wait a week for my English teacher to get me back my papers so I could look at the feedback and get better on the next paper. I don't have to wait for that anymore. And the kids don't have to wait for that anymore. They
And
get
then we
to
have
it
a
right away.
quick question from
Yeah.
Taryn, Justin. What do you have to do in terms of what is there a rubric? Are you putting in standards? What's the build to get it to give the feedback you're looking for?
Yes, there is a rubric, and I usually use the Class Companion rubric. So in order to get to that, we'll go to Class Companion.
And Taryn, that's a great question. Like, yeah, how much work is it to set it up in the first place?
It's simple.
I
I'll set
think
it
I
up
know
right
the
now.
answer, but it would be great to see it.
Yeah, let's do it. So we're just I usually find it in content library because there's no point in inventing the wheel. And so we'll go here and we'll go AP US history. So that's what I teach. And we'll do, there's a multiple choice here. There's an essay here. I usually like to do a 3 times CER. Let's see. So you click on this, and that's going to take you to this, and it's already there. It's analyze the extent to which the goals and strategies of African American leaders. You can read it, but you just press add to class after that. And so we press add to class. We're going to continue, and then we can take a look at the rubrics and the questions. So the
If
rubrics
you
right
hit
here.
Control plus, Justin, the words would be a little bigger. Control plus maybe twice.
Got it.
There you go.
Yep. Let's see, and we can view it. And so here is the LEQ. So for A push, it's the long essay question. But just to give you an example of what a rubric looks like, it looks like this. And there can be more options. You can literally make one in ChatGPT and copy and paste it in if you want to make your own rubric.
And I'm supposing these are editable if you want to put in keywords or
Yes.
take things out.
Yes.
That's great.
So that's a rubric. That's the question right here. And then once you get all that set up, you just press publish. And that's it. It's super easy. Takes a couple seconds. If you want to make your own, it does take a little bit longer. So I don't know if you want me to go through that, but
Yeah, do the generate with AI just for a second to show the option, not the import. You can import your own. There you go. Whoop. There you are.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
so we can do generic, and then we can put our objective in. So whatever objective we want.
So this would be like where Scott said, students will rewrite the text in first person and make 2 parenthetical citations or something like that. And then the AI, that's your rubric builder. Does that help, Taryn, on the rubric part?
She wrote me, thank you. Yeah, I think that helped her. Yeah.
Good. Well, and it looks to be, pretty standard teacherese, right? This is in many different platforms. This is going to be the vibe. I got to pick a standard. I got to pick a format. I got to adjust what the task is. And then Justin, once you build it, then you just clone it and change the input, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's hop down to Cyber Sandwich.
Avery, I
Right.
now see the little history-based working messages you have there. They're very
Yeah.
funny. I totally
love that.
appreciate that.
Yeah, building transcontinental railroad. I love that one.
Fighting the
One
Civil
thing-
War.
I've got
One
a
thing I wanna
suggestion.
show
I
you
would like
guys.
one. Painting the Mona Lisa. That's an inside joke in my class.
That's a good one, though.
Justin, when kids are doing sketch and tell, I tell them, hurry up, you're not drawing the Mona Lisa.
Now sketch stick figures are welcome in my classroom.
There you go. Bring the stick figures.
All right, guys. So one thing I wanted to show you is that this was the first attempt that she had with each one. And so while she didn't get a perfect score every time, she did get better every time. So
Yeah.
each one of these is a claim evidence reasoning. So what I want to show you is the growth that's happening on the first attempt, where she's not having to go back. She's learning from her mistakes. So
And
on
then
the
when you
first
say
attempt,
first
she got a
attempt,
2
you
out
mean
of.
first day or first week?
This is the first time she's used Class Companion.
So this is like the first iteration. This is 3 rounds within what? 10
1 day.
minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah. It didn't take her long. This
So
was
this is
very.
not a 1-week assignment.
No. This was within a class period assignment.
And how much
yes.
direct instruction did you do?
Hardly none.
Okay, there you go.
Me, it's all
The
EduProtocols.
is staying away.
Yep. Yeah. So it was 2, 3, and 4, and that was the first time we done it. And she's going to get better and better because we're going to keep on doing this. We're going to keep on doing the claim evidence reasoning, and eventually it's going to get to the point where she doesn't need me or need feedback at all. She's going to get a perfect score every time. All right. All right. The Cyber Sandwich. So Cyber Sandwich is 2 students, 5 slides, 1 source. Read and compare, talk and write. So if that doesn't make sense of what I'm saying here, I'm going to show you exactly how it's done real quick. So I
Yeah, and
usually
it's
start.
basically it's a think, pair, share from the old days with a couple more
Yes.
pieces.
Yep, exactly. So I have 2 partners, and they're going to pick which one's partner 1 and partner 2. Now, sometimes you can do, a lot of times you do the same source. In this instance, I am doing two different sources. I'm doing Carnegie and I'm doing Rockefeller. So student one is going to take notes based off the reading link right here. Sometimes I scaffold it a bit by telling them the three things or a couple things that I want, but a lot of times I'll just tell them, hey, write down 5 notes you think are important. And then student 2 is taking notes from John D. Rockefeller based on the reading. And then we get them together and they are going to, I have them speak their notes out to their partner because I want them listening, I want them writing. And I've seen that I get a lot better results when I have them listen and write rather than just copying and pasting it from a shared slide deck. So I have partner 1's going to tell to partner 2, partner 2 is going to tell to partner 1, and then whatever they have in common is going to go in the middle, and that's the Venn diagram portion of that. And finally, we're going to answer a question based on that. Now, this is where I use Class Companion. So I said briefly explain one significant difference between Carnegie's perspective and Rockefeller's perspective on the role of competition industrial development. And so right here I have copied and pasted from Class Companion the answer they gave me, but I just put a link on here and they click that link and it takes them straight to Class Companion. They start typing. And this is what it looked like. So like I said, they're getting better, right? This is my A-push class.
9 out of 9.
Yeah, they didn't need input. They got
Justin,
it right.
Tony has a question.
Yes.
Does Class Companion give you like a dashboard that shows student growth over time? So a grade book of sorts or some kind of pie chart or a bar chart type of thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Peter, they just started doing what was analytics. So it shows like the growth of your class
Avery?
overall.
Avery, are you still with us there?
Yes.
Maybe.
And Justin, I feel like, yeah, I think you covered it. I don't know if you have a class, you might have some insights that are like in real time, but we provide insights at the class, student, and assignment level. So you can see how they're doing score-wise, but more importantly, what's getting picked up from the feedback. So what are
Here it is right here.
in areas for growth? And you can also see how they're growing across attempts and whether they're trying again, whether they're talking to the AI tutor.
That's cool.
So
And
that's what.
sorry, just don't want to put you on a spot also in terms of just like your students' data, but there's like so when you create a Class Companion account, you'll get that demo class, and that demo class has sample insights that you can look at.
For sure.
Okay. 8 parts. I can't wait to see what you're doing with 8 parts.
Okay, this one's a lot of fun. I love this one. The paragraphs I got out of my kids, these are sophomores. My sophomores, I'm having a rough time with this year. It's just one of those years, and every single teacher's talking about it like that. So I was super stoked to get the paragraphs I got out of them for this. So I do 8 parts in a history way, but 8 parts is all 8 parts of speech. 1 paragraph, make the subject a fun pick, a GIF or a meme, and 3 to 4 times per week for 20 to 25 reps. But that's for a like grade school grammar or ELA type of thing. For history, what we'd still do parts of speech, but we're going to add some different parts in there. So what I did is that we got a 3-word title at the top. We got verbs, adverbs, nouns, adjectives. You will be shocked about how many students in my sophomore class that did not know what a verb or adverb was. It is. They need this. They need it bad. But they're going to describe this picture here that I have for imperialism. And so they're going to use those words. I'm going to find them. They're going to give me a symbol for a motive, but that's from the assignment. I won't get into that. But why you chose these motives, the purpose, and describe what you see. Now, the Class Companion part comes in is that I gave them a rubric based on like summarizing a picture. So I found a rubric that was made to summarize a picture, and they went after that. And let's see, I can show you some of the feedback with that. So this is where she started, or yeah, the student started. Try and make it bigger here. So just 4 lines there, right? Got a 12 out of 20, and they're going to attempt it 6 times at least. But you can see here that it's going to give them feedback on how they specifically can get better in each field. Now, the students got quite a bit to do. There's quite a bit to get better, but there's a plan and there's a path. And eventually the student's going to get to a 19 out of 20. And you can see the student attempted it 6 times. I mean, went after it. And I never heard any complaining. The student just kept on going, and they just keep on going with it. It's that video game mentality, like I keep saying.
Yeah. And I think the kids see if I'm going to end up with an A, I don't mind spending another 5 minutes because I'm not going to get an F next week and my Xbox gets taken away, right? I just got to get in there and do some reps.
Right. And that's the big thing here is that there's no fear of failure here. They can keep going. They can keep doing. I tell them you get to pick your grade, because even if they get past the 8 attempts and if they want to keep going, I'll tell them, hey, I'll reset it. There's a reset button on this. And I tell them copy and paste what you have so far and you get another 8 attempts. So I never tell them that they have to stop. They can just keep going. They can just keep getting better. And who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that out of their students, that they can just keep working at it and they have that desire and that fire in them. I love it. So that's the 8 parts, yeah.
If I can jump in here, Justin, one of the things that this feedback shows is going to be very helpful with both parents and the students. Like when I was in teaching gifted students, I had certain students that would stab their grandmother in the back for an extra credit point. They're going to do all 8 reps and they're going to make sure they get all 100%. And then you have the other students that, they're just going to do 1 or 2 and get to a passing grade, and then they're going to stop. And you can share that with parents and say, look, they had 8 opportunities to improve their grade, but Peter wouldn't even take off his baseball bat and try. He just did 3 attempts and he called it quits. So I don't know how to help Peter because he doesn't really want to do the work. And then you just let them talk and let them hash it out, because this parent has heard this story before with Peter.
Yes. They are very much in control of their destiny, right? They are in the driver's seat. They're not guessing what grade they're going to get. The guessing's out of it. So they could just keep trying and keep working and keep grinding. But that's what I had. Anybody got any questions?
I love it, Justin. I love the way you use the 8 parts as the setup and then use the paragraph to determine how good they were at the key words and the key terms. I think that's just a fabulous adaptation.
Scott, Justin, I have a question for you guys. Does it matter if it's formative or summative? Are you finding that the students will stay equally engaged, or is it more likely when it's for a grade in a book somewhere, or the other way around?
Justin, I'll let you take that first because Peter knows that I don't really do a lot of summative testing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
guy.
forgot. Yeah.
So everything I've done is for a grade. So, but I don't grade everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's giving them points. Yeah, I don't always tell them. You know, I always tell them like, oh yeah, I'm not giving this a grade. But yeah, it does matter when I don't tell them that this is going to be graded. Yeah, they're not going to put so much work into it, obviously.
Well, for me at the AP level, I've actually found that they love the practice. I mean, they stay engaged with that as well, just like they will with a game at home. I don't know why. It's not going in the grade book, but here's your opportunity, and they'll typically do it. I mean, not everybody, but way more than you would expect.
I like your students.
Well, and I also think, to your point, Justin, that some kids will do it 8 or 9 times, no penalty for trying more. I think there's another group of educational minimalists out there who will try to do it the first try because that's the least work.
Yeah.
And that's the group I go after. I'm like, hey, the lazy guy, he only does it once because he doesn't want to do 7 reps. So if you'll lock in that first try, you don't have to do 7. And then if they miss 1, big deal, right? I'm facilitating perfect practice instead of simply dragging them through the activity and hoping they will put their name on it, which is a really big outcome difference, right? I literally had a kid one time, Peter, who I watched him hand his English teacher a paper, and he goes, here, Mrs. Smith, here you go. And she goes, oh my gosh, Ezra, this is great. And then she goes, you didn't do the back. He goes, "Can I just have a D?" Oh my God, you want to do half the assignment and just get a D? Well, technically it would be 50%, bro. So no, we're not
Yeah.
upgrading your F. But you get kids out of that minimalist mindset because they'll say, "Mr. Unruh, you're saying if I just do these 4 things, I'm going to get an A." Good to go, boss.
Yeah, and they can look at the rubric as they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a mystery. So yes, I do have kids that will try as hard as they can the first time to never have to do it again because I tell them once you got 100%, you're done, and that's a big incentive.
There's a whole group that will lock in on that, I guarantee.
John, we're at the 1 hour mark. You want to somehow close this out?
Yeah, I would just say I'm going to drop my email into the chat, jcarippo@gmail. I know I went kind of fast for anybody that's new to protocols, but hopefully Scott and Justin's vibe kind of rounded that out. But I'm jcarippo@gmail. I'm famous for free lifetime tech support. If you go over to Facebook, we have a Facebook group called EduProtocols Community. Literally 21,000 teachers in there just sharing stuff like crazy. You can just drop in and say, "I'm new to the group. What am I supposed to do?" And random teachers from all over the world will start entertaining you with acts of daring do.
Hey, John, do you
If
want to share the slide with the EduProtocols Roadshow information on it?
Oh,
if
sure.
people want to
Let me
learn
pop that
more?
up real quick. If you're a person who likes the history kind of stuff, we've actually got some really cool events coming up this summer. And let me get that open up. Where is that guy? Where is that guy? Scott, why don't you share it? Scott, can you show that slide real quick?
I think you left. Let's see. I got it.
Okay, there we go. Thanks, Justin. And so we're actually going to be one event is going to be in Cody, Wyoming, at the Buffalo Bill Center of the West,
I
which
know
we're
it.
super excited about. Come out with us on a Friday, hang around on Saturday, and get some some Yellowstone under your belt. We've got an event in Alabama. We've got an event in New England. We have our signature event every year in Laguna Beach. And then Dr. Petrie will be joining us in Northern California. We're going to be at an air museum and literally doing PD at an air museum surrounded by $1 million airplanes. And the one in San Carlos is going to be high school centric. So it's going to be really built for secondary people. Middle school people will be welcome, but we're not going to do that kind of self-contained classroom kind of thing. So if you guys like any of that thing, you can just email me or just Google the phrase EduProtocols and see stuff all over the place. So thanks for letting me share, and I'll hand it back to Scott or Justin.
Okay, Oliver, you're going to help me make dinner in a little bit. Oops.
That's a very cool spot you're going to have. You've been there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing some PD and Cody, and I drove by and I was like, I need to be there next summer.
Yeah. The
So
rodeo is a lot of fun. Cool town. Great
Yeah.
town.
yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful setup.
Yeah. So guys, we're running a little bit over. Do we have any questions, or John, do you want to close? And
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say goodbye. If anybody else wants to say goodbye, I'm going to pause the recording.